Hey folks, um, been a little while since I did a video, so what I want to talk about is slavery. You know, a lot in the news lately about slavery. Um, I got to ask, has anybody realized that we're all slaves still to this day? Um, Slavery's never ended. The atrocities that were committed to black slaves in the United States, that changed. But now we're all slaves. And what I mean is, we can't travel outside of the country without the permission of our government, our masters. If we do, well, we'll be put in a cage. Um, we can't do anything without paying our masters penance for the privilege to work in society with taxes and everything else they stick on us. Heck, it's getting to be, well, we can't even travel with the Real ID Act. We can't even get on an airplane soon and travel within the United States without a special government issued ID that we got to be fingerprinted and everything for. So, slavery's still here. It's never left. Now, that doesn't take away from what the African Americans went through over the years, but there's a bunch of fake information out there. And I mean, what I want to say, some of that is so yeah, it's well known that warring African tribes enslaved other tribes. That's natural in white world, black world, American Indian, any indigenous type people. The Vikings did it. We know that. But then, yes, the black Africans enslaved other people, and they sold them. But who did they sell them to? I mean, let's just get down that rabbit hole. They sold them to Dutch slave traders, who then brought them to the colonies, to the islands, different places around the world. So yeah, it wasn't, black people weren't buying other black people and then putting them on a ship and bringing them over here. There was a few. That There was always a few of those. But so yeah, as far as it goes, like on the Civil War, is so the average farmer probably couldn't read that well anyway. So they really had no idea about half of what they were even fighting for. They were told it was states' rights, and by God, that's what they thought it was. And to some extent, it probably was, but let's not forget only the 1%, the upper 1 percentile, owned any large numbers of slaves in the colonies at the time. So, what that came to was those people were influencing how the government was formed and the rules and all that. It very well did benefit them at the time to have slaves. My firm belief is without the Civil War, slavery would have died out on its own over the years because the Industrial Revolution had it, would have started anyway, and eventually the Industrial Revolution would have, done away with slavery. Now, that's a funny thing to bring up because that's happening here as well. As technology booms, we're losing jobs in the United States. There's no mistaking that. Some people will be retrained, but a large number won't be able to. And those people, we're going to have to figure out other outlets for those people after those things come in. I mean, they've talked about universal basic income for all that, but to me, that not necessarily going to work. It's just, but it's a discussion that all of us need to really have because you look at the jobs that have been eliminated in our lifetime. I'm 48 years old, and a lot of those factory jobs are gone, and it's all automated, and just in my life. So when I get down to my kids and my grandkids, what are they? What kind of jobs are they going to be able to, you know, get? Because a lot of jobs will be gone and it'll be automation. Um, you look at simple fact, computer, just things. Not since the computer started, there used to be a crap load of data entry, right? Now you don't need to do as much. And different programs have come along to make that easier to capture data so one person can do the work of 10 people 30 years ago. It's naturally happening. That's the way tech works. Technology moves on. So these are discussions we need to have. But at the end of the day, I've said it for a very long time, we're all just free range slaves. Um, what's coming in the next year or two, I don't think 90% of people are either aware of it or awake to it or want to be awake to it. And most of those people aren't ready for what's coming because you will wake up, and it could be very well we just wake up one morning and it turns out to be like it was in Russia, right? Russia was a communist country, and the next day everybody woke up the next day and they were no longer a communist country, and the Balkan republics started breaking up overnight. Um, I feel that the U.S. will balkanize. I think the United States is going to wind up in the next couple decades at least breaking up to a couple of separate different republics minimum because I think there's just too much division, and it's really regional division too because you go out west, and I lived in Montana for years. You go out west, you know, the Western philosophy is a little different. They politic different. They have different priorities in life, what means more to them. The Southern groups are the same. I mean, not the same as the West, but they all kind of group up. They have a set of ideals. North, the Corn Belt too. So I believe that there's a lot of differences there, and I think that these differences, the way our government is structured as a whole, I don't believe is. I believe those differences are irreconcilable. To be honest with you, I think it's coming to a head to where people are saying this is not as important to me as other things. And I think you're going to see a lot of changes coming very quick, and I just urge people to pay attention. And I mean, stay focused, and if you prepare. I mean, I know I don't want to sound like a big prepper where you got, but start preparing. It doesn't hurt to have a couple weeks worth of food or something because who knows what's coming. Um, just pay attention. Don't get caught up in the BS on the news, what they want you to hear. Look beyond that, right? You look at what's going on. What are your neighbors talking about? What are your coworkers and stuff? What are their real worries and concerns? Because that's what's coming. I mean, I believe that we're getting ready to have a fundamental shift in the United States very quickly, and it's coming real fast. And we all got to be prepared for it. Let me get off of here, guys. It's late. I'll talk to you. Be safe. Be careful and stay healthy. And if anybody needs me, they know how to find me on Facebook or here, or even message me here, and we can talk and do videos or just chat sometime. But have a good one.